Hey, Vineyard family, it's Brian here again. We are working through our next portion of the devotions in Philippians. This week we're in Philippians 2, verses 5 through 11. So let me read through the first portion of that, and we'll focus a bit on verse 7 today. Apostle Paul writes this: Your attitude should be the same as that of Christ Jesus, that who, being in very nature God, did not consider equality with God something to be grasped, but he made himself nothing, taking the very nature of a servant, being made in human likeness. We'll stop there for now. Again, this part of Philippians 2 is traditionally known as the Canosis Hymn. And it's actually maybe a worship song that was sung in the early church. And it contains some really powerful things about what we might call Christology. The things that we believe about who Jesus is and what Jesus has done. And verse 7, in particular today, tells us some really important things. That Jesus made himself nothing, literally, that he emptied himself, taking on the very nature of a servant, and that he was made in human likeness. Now, that doesn't mean that Jesus quit being God. What it means is that he set aside those things of functioning as God in order to love and serve us in some particular ways. And so I just want to have you just take a few moments to let that sink in today. You know, that the God who is bigger than all of the galaxies, stretching out, before us, he's control of the smallest atom. I mean, like, he keeps all of these things in alignment. And yet that God has chosen, in the person of Jesus, to come in the humble form of a baby. This is what we celebrate at Christmas, right? And come to love and to serve us. And that is a beautiful picture of God's intentionality, how much he loves us, how much he wants relationship with us, and the extents that he's willing to go to achieve that. So again, verse 7 hits on some key themes here in Philippians, talking about how Jesus chose the path of a servant. As we think about applying that in our lives, and as verse 5 talks about having that same attitude as Jesus in our lives, in our relationships, ask yourself, what aspects of servanthood are you really wanting to grow in right now? And how's God challenging you towards having more and more of those attitudes and responses of a servant in your life? And maybe even backtrack a little bit there of just thinking about the pieces of servanthood that are most reflected in Jesus's willingness to become a human. It's really powerful stuff, and I think as we really grasp that, as we talked about this last weekend, grasp the weightiness of all that Jesus has done. Our challenge is that we want to have an equally weighted response of just giving our all back to him in love and service. And so take some time to reflect on that, see what God's speaking to you today, and then take some action towards the things that God's pointing you towards. Hope you have a great day.